So you trying to tell me you just bossed up like how into like COVID? Like that's just where you really like took yourself to the next level.
As far as financially.
Financially.
Because I started financial literacy. I started studying. My name is Jovanna Wright with Right Way to Go Tax Service, and you are watching What's Your Hustle podcast.
What's your hustle? What do you do? Here to bring money and attention to you. A lot of people want to know, you got to give them the truth. Here to run the numbers up, we about to go through the roof. What's your hustle? What's your hustle? Here to talk about your grind, how you spend your time. We done brought you to the show, you gotta speak what's on your mind. What's your hustle? What's your hustle? What's your hustle? What's your hustle? Yeah.
All right, so welcome to another episode of What's Your Hustle podcast, and today we got Jovanna Wright from Right Way to Go Tax Service. And if y'all don't know who she is, y'all will know. Just know she's a queen from the Michiana, Indiana area, making six figures in her business. And today she took the time out to come and talk to us. But before we get into all of that, please let the people know where they can find you at.
Yes. So you can find me on Facebook under Jovanna Wright, or my public figure page, Jovanna Wright, Right Way to Go Tax Service, Right Way to Go Logistics. On IG, you can find me under Mompreneur Miss Indiana, Right Way to Go Logistics, Right Way to Go Tax Service, Girl Gang Apparel, and I am on LinkedIn. Those are my social media handles for now. Studying.
So you trying to tell me you just bossed up like how into like COVID? Like that's just where you really like took yourself to the next level.
As far as financially.
Because
I started financial literacy. I started studying.
Wow.
I got the pictures on my phone. I can send them to you from that date. Me sitting there with whiteboards, mapping it out, watching different YouTubes, Earn Your Leisure, Alex Good Energy, Him 500. I didn't invest in Him 500 until June though. Wow. But I had already been watching them well enough. So my business partner, he just we had a really bad investment 3 years ago, bankrupt us both. So when I bring him an idea, he's more holding back. I said, I can't let you hold me back no more. So I just started moving forward. If you're going to come, you're going to come. But I can't keep running my ideas by you and you second guessing them. Because I know what's in me. I know I've studied. I know my craft. So literally, I didn't start getting stocks until COVID. I didn't start doing 401k until COVID. None of that.
I swear from me watching you on social media, on the outside looking in, I promise you, it looks like you've been doing this 10, 20 years.
Well, I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years, but as far as reinvesting the money, I'm taking trips, I'm blowing it, I'm buying bags, whatever I wanted to do. I wasn't reinvesting the money and I wasn't working. So I just do taxes and that's it. That's it. I put the money into the trucking. After that came passive. That was it. But it's like, you got to keep hustling. You got to keep hustling. Because if not, you're going to be complacent. Right?
Right.
So mentally, I had to use that same mindset that I had when I was in the streets and apply it. Tomorrow, my grandson turns 1. Nobody knows, but I bought him a vending machine 2 months ago.
Wow, you on some boss stuff. So as soon as you said that instantly that post of what they said about Young Dolph buying his kids' property on their birthday. Come on now. Yep. We talking about building generational wealth. Come on now, vending machine, who thinks like that?
And he only won.
Won.
So his dad is into cars and things like that. So I'm hoping the next year he's ready to open up his location. I'm just going to bring it here. Put it right in there. But yeah, generational wealth is where it's at. I have a business with all of my children. My daughter and I sell t-shirts. So we have Girl Gang Apparel. So we have Entrepreneurs Hustle Harder, Women in Trucking Hustle Harder, Freight Brokers, girl gang, dadpreneur, mompreneur. So we got a whole line, me and my daughter.
And so are those like different brands up underneath one LLC? Or those all multiple different LLC?
Multiple. Yep. So me and her have girl gang. My younger son and I do the Toro together. So he loves cars. So I put my Benz on Toro. So he manages that. And then I also have 2 Airbnbs here in South Bend. So my son that plays basketball, he's on that LLC. And then my older son, we're on Right Way to Go Financial Services. So I got Right Way to Go Tax Service. But under him, I have Right Way to Go Financial Services, where we do credit repair, credit restoration, and different things like that. So, like you said, business credit. So I'm building those up. So that way when they're ready, you can leverage that. Everybody on my credit card, not my daughter, she's not old enough. But all 3 of my boys on my credit card, so that way their score can be where it needs to be. So it's just from watching these videos, watching other people do it, and applying it. Like you said, applying the information.
I want to put together a mastermind, and I've been looking at the morning meetup, and I'm like, I may kind of take like the format or something, but all I know is I have to be connected to other entrepreneurs. I can't speak for other people, but my circle has changed. I'm literally alone. I have some mentors, but the thing is, it's like, it's only so much that you can get out of 1 hour that you do once a month or every 2 weeks. And you appreciate it and you value the time. And I promise you, I try to get as much out of I can with being respectful, but it's like, I need more. I'm trying to go deeper. I'm trying to get somewhere, and I'm trying to get that fast. So when Dave said that, you're the right seed, but you're just in a wrong environment, that resonated so much, because I know that I'm the right person. I know that I'm supposed to be successful. I can feel it deep down inside. I see the manifestation happen, but I need more. I need to be around the right people. And so me starting this podcast was part of that reason. And I really hate to say it like that, because it sounds so selfish, but that's the God's honest truth. I needed to be connected with other people. I needed to hear their stories, like-minded people. I needed to be in the room. I gotta be stretched. We're trying to stretch people with this podcast. That's the whole purpose of stretching people, to get to the next level, because right now, you are who you are. You are successful. I don't know about nobody else. I don't know about how nobody else feel, but I deem you as successful. You are somebody that I look up to, because I can relate to you. See, that's the important. I can relate to you, and so if I can relate to you, then I know that I can get to that next level, because me and you, we not that same. We not that different. We the same. So
it's the millionaire mindset. And like you said, you have that feeling, as a child, I knew I was different. I always knew I was different, but I would put myself in environments to where I kind of blended in. But I felt it. And once I moved to Indianapolis, and God broke me down, I went bankrupt. To the point to where I was trying to figure it out and think 2 weeks ahead of time, and I was at the blood bank. Been an entrepreneur for 8 years, but because I made the wrong investments and the wrong decisions, like you said, I didn't sit back and think about it. I didn't analyze it like I do now. So I just ran with it. Somebody had an idea. They fed me this story, showed me a couple dollars, and I ran with it, So it broke me down, but then it brought me back up, because he put me in different environments and different rooms. So I went to an all-white church. They had to help me pay my rent. And I explained to him, like, I can pay it back. This ain't me. I can show you who I really am. I just made a bad decision, and I just need a little bit of help. So when I wanted to come and pay the money back, they said, can you teach this Money-Wise course? I said, absolutely. That was my way of giving back. But it gave me my confidence back.
Wow.
It gave me my confidence back. And it also gave me some skill sets too. I was more comfortable with articulating myself, more comfortable with walking in a room when you don't look like nobody, you know. So it gave me that self-confidence back, and I came back with a vengeance. And I know where I'm at now, it's even higher heights that I got to reach. I just got to be patient, and I just got to network with the right people, because I wasn't. So now when I go to these different events, I go by myself. I don't have no friends. I'm my own friend. People around me they don't see what I see. They don't see the vision that I see for myself. So I'm putting myself in these different rooms. I'm making these sacrifices. I'm investing in these coaches. You have to self-invest. I like nice stuff, but I would rather invest up here, because then it'll come back tenfold. And that's exactly what's been happening. Like I said, from the stocks, started off with a couple stocks here, a couple stocks there. So now my investment is over 5 figures, and I got 3 different platforms that I use. So I pick and choose which ones. When I buy my stocks, I buy them in sixes.
Wow. So when you say you buy them in sixes, what that mean?
So it's myself. I got 4 kids. And I got a grandson. So everybody got to get a stock.
Everybody got to get a stock. I know my mentor says you should get like a bare minimum between 100 shares to 125 shares when buying stocks. So that's a lot of stocks to me. Mm-hmm. And I done seen a couple of your screenshots that you be posting, and I know you ain't showing. I know you just a little snippet
right.
kind of.
But that's only from 18 months.
18 months. That's
watching that money grow. And you got to make sure that I only invest what I can lose and what I don't need right away. And you have to make sure that you investing in the right stocks. So that's like we had talked about Wall Street Trapper. So I watch him. Yeah. I could relate to the lingo. Mm-hmm. And he taught me so much game. And from there, he put me on to Earn Your Leisure. Mm-hmm. They taught me so much game. So it's just about that self-education. I would rather stay at home and listen to a podcast or watch one of their old viewings than to do anything else. I'm saving money, and that time you can't get back. So I would rather, self-educate myself. So that's usually what I do.
So how many businesses you got again? You got Airbnb.
Yep. So I have Right Way to Go property management. Right Way to Go logistics. Mm-hmm. Right Way to Go tax service. Right Way to Go financial services, and Girl Gang Apparel.
So you got 5 businesses.
Yeah.
5 businesses.
Yes. Running actively.
Mm-hmm. All LLCs, all EINs, yes. All done in Brown Street number. Yes. All. Yeah. Come on, yo. This is not the chance, but we gotta clap it up for that. We doing something different. We might have to add a segment into the podcast. We gotta clap it up for that 5, especially being a young Black woman. That is amazing to me. Like that is, we just can't let that go. We just can't let that slide. We just can't let that.
But everybody can do it. This is a muscle up here. So what do you have to do with muscles?
You gotta work it out. You gotta work
Morning meetup, reading books, and putting myself in the right environment.
So how does one get into that right environment?
Positioning yourself around the right people in the right rooms. So again, I learned about Him 500 and Earn Your Leisure from being on YouTube, IG. I love Instagram. Instagram is my thing. I would watch Instagram over Facebook. Most of the people on Facebook you grew up with, IG, to me, in my opinion, is networking. So, using different hashtags and you popping up on different people's feeds and things like that. Because I really consider myself a mompreneur. So what a mompreneur is a woman who balances her home life and then also business. So it's about balancing. I don't have a salary. I don't work for nobody. So I have to create my money. I'm really good at budgeting. So I've already written down my bills for December, so I know exactly what I got to bring in. So if I got to push the course a little bit more, I already know. If I have to, lower the prices or move the prices with Airbnb or on Turo, I already know where my mark is. And I always try to put 10% into savings too. So.
All right, so I want to go back all the way, not like all the way,
Okay.
but I want to go back to the beginning before you began making 6 figures and before you had 5 LLCs and before you had the 2 kids. I want to know what was life like? What was life like for you then?
Okay. I had my first son when I was 15.
Okay.
And I have a total of 4 children.
Okay, 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had my first son when I was 15. And at that point in time, I worked 2 jobs. I would work at the McDonald's in the morning, and then I would work at MCL cafeteria in the afternoon. Big and pregnant, but I knew I had to provide. It's not about me. It's about my children and them never wanting for anything, So that's where it started. Graduated on time, went to LaSalle, continued my education at IUSB. I got hired at St. Joe Hospital, and I worked there for about 10 years. In between that time, I started hustling candy out of the basement of my house. So that was my first business. From there, I would go around to the different reunions throughout the summer with a cooler and a fanny pack, making drinks, Jello shots, different, because people, they kicking it. They don't want to leave to go to the liquor store.
Right.
So if I got it right there, they gonna buy it. So I try to do things or think of a service that's needed, something that's needed. So, like I said, they don't want to leave, and I just would pull this cooler and sell the drinks. So that's where it started, and then from there, I always hustled. So, and when I say that, I got off into the streets. So I was myself, and I have 2 older sisters, and we from the southeast side, and we were known for hustling. So if I didn't have it, one of them had it. So that's where the hustle kind of came into play. I had my second son, who's still working at the hospital, and I got into some trouble. That point in time, I knew that that's not what I wanted. I didn't want my kids to see me in that rim anymore. I never forget it when I got raided, and it was myself and my sisters, and they didn't want my sisters, so they had her come down and get me. During this time, I knew, I felt it in my spirit that it wasn't right, but chasing that bag, used to that lifestyle. So I bartered with the cop and basically was explaining to him, like, just don't take me up here handcuffed, in front of my kids. Whatever you need me to, whatever, I'm a man up, a woman up to the decisions that I made. It ain't nobody else. I don't know nothing about nobody else. All I could do is tell you about me. But I never forget it. My son, I ended up, of course, going to jail. And I didn't want to talk to my son. And my mom kept saying, while I was in jail, your son want to talk to you. He want to talk to you. I'm like, Mom, I don't want to talk to him. So anyway, to make a long story short, I would have my little regimen where I would count my money. And he looked outside and seen what was going on. He had to be about 9 or 10. So while we having an altercation outside, he done went and picked up all the money. So I'm thinking I done lost everything. But he was smart enough to pick up the money and hide it. So I was able to bond out, get my lawyer and all those things. But that was what changed my life. I didn't want to put them in that situation where I could have lost my kids. At this point in time, it's 3 children that I could have lost. So that was the turnaround point for me. I was always a good saver, and I would save savings bonds, and I would give them to my stepfather to put up. So I went and got my taxes done, and it was a lady that did them, and I'm like, man, I can do this. Easy money. I think she charged me either $500 or $700. $500. You see 5 to 10 people a day. That's the same money that I just left. let me get that. I could always articulate myself. I was always smart, always straight A's, always. I just would put myself in the wrong situations. So I went to my stepfather, gave him my plan. He gave me the money, and I literally took a course at Liberty Tax, and I would ride by this building. So I believe in manifestation too. And I kept saying, I don't never see nobody at this building. Like, is it vacant? 2 to 3 weeks later, for rent sign popped up. Called the lady. When it came time to do the application, and they had to do the background check. I knew it was going to pop up. I said, ma'am, I'm going to tell you now, this is going to pop up, but I'm not her no more. I have an opportunity. I'm going to school. This is perfect. This location is perfect. It's right down the street from my kids' school, literally 5 minutes away from my house. All I need you to do is give me this opportunity. And she did. My children and I went to Goodwill, picking up supplies, Family Dollar, and it was just empty. And we would just go in there and we would just pray. And I just kept telling them, okay, this is what's going to happen. And we was in that same location for 6 years. 6 years.
And what business was it?
So this was a Right Way to Go tax service. So that's the first business that I ever started. Okay. So Right Way to Go tax service, and it was located on the southeast side where I'm from. 1818 Miami Street, right on the corner. It was a 7-Eleven right across the street. It was Sailor's Pizza. So we lived off of Sailor's Pizza because I'm hustling. I can't leave. So it was, like I said, it was like I manifested that location. And then from that point on, my children and I were the only ones that worked that first year. So that first year, I probably had about 30 clients. But I probably made about $15,000. That was good for me. So each year it just continued to grow. And each child had a job. So my son would help me with taxes because he was older. So he would kind of do the data entry. The kids will come in and give you the clipboard for you to fill out, customer service. One child will ask you if you wanted popcorn or water. They'll go get the snacks. We had a child, like a play area. So if you bring your kids can be over there playing. If I'm doing taxes, you got to either, play with the person or watch them. So it was literally a family hustle that I had created. My son Jovanna would wear a dollar bill costume, and he would run up and down the street saying, Right Way to Go tax service, where we do taxes the right way. I remember somebody calling me like, you got that kid out there soliciting? Hey, it's a family hustle. So that's how Right Way to Go tax service was created. And from that point on, I started employing other people. But the people that I were employing didn't have the same vision that I had. So that caused me some heartache, some relationships, and ultimately some money. I ended up having to pay a large amount back to the IRS. And at that point, I thought my career was over. But when I moved to Indianapolis, God picked me back up and dusted me off and said, you know what? I'm going to use you as an example that you can hit the rock bottom. And I'm going to pull you right back up. And that's literally what he's been doing. So I moved to Indianapolis in 2008, and that's when I started Right Way to Go Logistics. So we were hauling cars illegally in a 2-car hauler. The person that was mentoring me, we weren't aligned. I thought we were, but we weren't. So once I called him out on that, he fired us in California. So just imagine driving back from California, no money coming back. You got to pay for the gas for that car and that car hauler. It was a long ride. So at that point in time, I told my boyfriend, you know what? You take the $500 that we had remaining and you go back to South Bend, and I'm going to figure it out. Because I got kids at this point. I done signed a lease. I have to figure it out. These are my children. I got to figure it out. That's literally what I did. So, like I said, from the other story, went to the church and they helped me. But they gave me that self-confidence back by giving me that position. And from there, I just said, God, if you give me one more chance, I'm going to make sure that I show you. And that's exactly what I've been doing. just millionaire mindset, thinking differently, not worried about what nobody else is saying, doing what's best for me. So I tell people all the time, I don't feel like I figured it out or I grew up until I turned 35, because I'm 41 now. But I didn't grow up until then. But he had to seclude me. I couldn't be around nobody. I still in Indianapolis right now. I don't go out. I don't know a lot of people. I don't migrate to the people that are from South Bend. I kind of stick to myself. And he planted me there because he knew that's what I needed. My son had an opportunity to go to prep school. And I believe it was because of where he placed us at, you know. So it's him. It's him. And I just want to show other moms or other, you know, entrepreneurs that you can do it too.
Right.
You know?
Wow.
I've always been a single mom. My younger two children, their father was considered a career criminal, and he left when my daughter was 18 months. He just got out last year. So my daughter and my son now are 15 and 14. My older son, his father has always been in his life. I mean, like, we're the best of friends right now, even to this day. So I can definitely appreciate that relationship. My middle son's father also was in and out of prison. So I just always kind of, like I said, been a single mom. So it was always us. I always had to figure it out. So I came from Section 8, you know, food stamps, things like that. And I never forget, it was the year where I'm like, I've evolved. You know, it's time for me to give this opportunity to some other young mom that needed, just like I did. And I literally walked away from it to paying double what I was paying.
So you started your business, and essentially you failed. And with that failure, you picked yourself up and kept going. But what made you not stop? Because a lot of people hit failure and they like, you know what, I'm done. I'm just going back to the old life, right? Because it's easy once you hit that, you know what, I'm gonna go back to hustling. I'm gonna go back to this job. I'm gonna go back to doing whatever I was doing, because it's a lot easier. Because sometimes as an entrepreneur, you hit that point, you're like, you know what, it's too much. It's just easier. But you made a decision to say, you know what, it's more for me and I'm gonna keep going. But how though?
Them 4 people that I gotta look at every single day. Those 4 people. Those 4, even right now, the decisions that I make are those 4 people in mind. The way that I carry myself, I always think about them. I'm somebody's mama. So kids want a mom that they can be proud of. So that's the standard that I hold myself to. And like I said, if I fumble, what they gonna do? So that's the fuel behind my fire. That's what keeps me going. Even now, my older son, he's 25, my other son, 18. It doesn't matter. If they need mom, I'm there. And I want to be an example, you know. So that's my why.
You spoke a lot today about vision and making sure that you being aligned with the right person and that your values and so forth match up. How did you get to that point when you realized, you know what, this is an important thing? Like, when did that come about and building that?
When the people that I were considering myself to be aligned with turned their back on me. When I hit that rock bottom, they wasn't there to lift me up. They joined the crowd with the naysayers. And these are the same people that, come on, you need a job. You need this. So like I said, I was employing people around me, not people that had the same mindset or same vision. So that's why.
Where do you get this generational wealth kind of mindset from? Like,
just always seeing other entrepreneurs, other people that I would be networking with, doing business with, providing a life for their children that was not normal for us. You know, my parents they just work 9 to 5s. So sometimes they don't even get my mindset or the reason why I do the things that I do, you know, because they used to being workers. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you know automatically when you a worker and when you a boss. But I don't have a problem with resorting to be a worker. I want to be a worker in the beginning because I want to know all the different positions. I bought into a franchise. A friend of mine's needed a partner at that time. So I bought into the franchise. I worked washing dishes, scrubbing the bathroom. I wanted them employees to know that I don't feel like I'm better than you. I'm not going to say you go clean the bathroom. Okay, you doing this? I'm going to be in the bathroom cleaning the bathroom if you need me. Okay, you handling the customers? I'm going to be in here stocking because I want them to understand I'm that boss that's going to work aside you, you know. And everybody want ownership. Everybody want ownership. So for the university, you working with me for 2 years, but you branding your own business. And a lot of these places give you a non-compete. So I always tell them, read your contract. If you're not in a non-compete, once you leave that second year and you fulfilled everything in the contract, you're free to go. Don't nobody want to work for nobody too much. So if I'm giving you that ownership, I'm giving you that way out. I'm letting you know out the gate. It's going to take 2 years. First, you got to learn how to be a preparer. Then you got to learn how to be a business owner. It's 2 separate entities. After that, you're free to go. Just give me a good review. Even with trucking. All I need is you want to own your own truck. I know that. So I go into it knowing that. And I let them know that. I don't want to hold you hostage. All I ask is that you give me a good replacement. That's it. So when you do good business follow you.
How did you get into the tax business? Like, how did that come about? Like, did you go to school? Did you like become under the mentor under somebody? And
Remember I told you I went and got my taxes done. So I saw somebody else doing it. Okay. And then I invested into Liberty Tax. Okay. I was already at IUSB. Okay. So what I did was just switched my major to general studies. Mm-hmm. That way I can take marketing classes. That way I can take branding classes. And then at IUSB, I'm in a room with so many different people. That's why I always tell people, get in a room. You never know who you're going to be bumping shoulders with. You never know what you can learn from somebody else. So, I don't have a problem with listening.
So how did the trucking come about then?
So at that point in time, my boyfriend was driving the school bus. Okay. And he was hustling too. I'm like, I'm out of here. We got to let that go. I felt in my spirit that something was going to happen. It's only 2 things. Right. So on Instagram, met the guy that was my mentor, seen him doing car hauling. He telling me he making $5,000 a week. $5,000 a week that he can be making on top of what I'm already making? Run me that. What do I need to do? Send me the list. And that's what I did. But now, reanalyzing it, and when I teach other people about trucking, I teach them from my mistakes. I tell them I already went through it. You can do whatever you want to do, but I'm already telling you this is the way to go. Right. So what I did was took $5,000 down and put it down on a truck. I shouldn't have done that. I should have took that $5,000, put it on my credit, and waited until I got a better APR rate. That way my expenses was low. He wasn't teaching me that. He just wanted me to hurry up and start running so that way I could start helping him run his business. So just learning different things over the amount of time. So that's how the trucking. My stepfather has always been he's been a truck driver. So I always knew that the money was good, and he would be gone on the road, and he would be gone for, a week at a time, and he would only come home on the weekends. But my boyfriend, he didn't want to do that. Mm-hmm. And I respected that. So it was the summertime when we got the truck, and we just hit the road, state to state, city to city, a week at a time. And we learned the hard way. We should have been, not staying at the Marriott and spending all this money eating. No, you sleep in the back of the truck. You got to keep reinvesting the money. And we didn't have that concept. So once I got out the truck and started managing the expenses, it made sense. Okay, we're not going to be packing lunches, because when you stop at these restaurants, you eat and you get sleepy. You don't want to finish driving. Then boom, you got to pull over and go to the hotel. No more hotels. We sleeping at truck stops. And then it just got to a point to where he was blessed with a route that was just kind of local. So he would be home every night. So we ran into a lot of equipment issues with the truck, with the trailer, accidents, different things like that. The insurance going up to $1,700 a month.
Wow.
Yep. So it was a learning experience. But one thing I will say is we never was quitters. And I will always be that voice of reason. Okay, I'm going to let you vent. I'm going to give you your little time. How can we fix it?
I promise you, that is me. I promise you, I say the same thing. I say, all right, what's the problem? Okay, let's talk about the problem. Let's vent about it.
Yep.
Cool. You got it out? All right, bet. Now let's come up with some solutions. This is what I was thinking, how we could fix the problem.
Yes.
You got anything you want to answer that? That don't work? Okay. How about this?
Yes.
How about this? All right.
Yep.
Google, how do you solve
Yes.
blah, 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 blah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So I always just try to be that voice of reason. Just even, that's what entrepreneurs do.
Mm-hmm.
We solve problems. So a lot of my business clients, I listen to their problems. Okay, well, do you think you could do this a little different? What if you do this way? It's just my recommendation. I'm just telling you, what works for me. Maybe we can tweak it a little bit.
Right.
And just being organized. I think that's important too. Being organized. And in business, if I don't say nothing else, you have to know your bottom line number. You have to know what you have to bring in to make it work. If you don't know that, if you don't know your numbers, what are you doing?
Right.
So that's what I usually tell people. You got to know, your expenses as far as the truck note, insurance, fuel, your EDL, your IFA tags, just different things like that. You have to know what your numbers are, because then you know what you need to bring in to cover that. And then you need to know what you need to bring in to cover, your salary. Mm-hmm. So understanding your numbers is very important.
Wow. And so by you going to school for that, luckily you don't have to hire anybody for that. You just stay on top of all of that.
Yeah, but I do have somebody that I outsource it to.
Yeah.
Because that's one less thing that I got to worry about. So I do the budget, and then after that I have somebody that does my QuickBooks for me. So she handles all of the entries. She'll ask me, okay, you spent this. What was this for? Was it personal? Was it business? That way it's not a conflict of interest when it's time for me to do my numbers. Somebody else already did them, not me, so.
That's a tip right there. Hope y'all listening.
Yeah. So, and I have budget sheets on my website. I don't know if you access those. I have a monthly budget sheet for home where you can list all your expenses, your income that you have coming in, things that you want to save for, debt that you want to pay off. I have investment trackers. I have a business budget sheet for your business. I have a grocery lists. I have just different things for a mompreneur or a dadpreneur. And I have a planner that's dropping Friday. So inside of this planner, it has affirmations. Mm-hmm. It has budget sheets. It has chore lists for your children. It has recipes as far as crock pot. I am the crock pot queen because my time is limited. So in that morning, if I can spend an extra 15, 20 minutes putting that stuff in a crock pot, guess what? When they come home, dinner done. I don't got to worry about it.
Wow. So you cooking, you managing the business, you going to games.
Oh, yes. Try to make it to all the games. Now, even when my son was in Arizona, I would fly out there monthly. I would cook for the whole house. Most parents would pick their kids up and take them out to eat. So we did that once. And then Friday when I got there, I would make a big spread, tacos, whatever they wanted. Saturday, like burgers, different things like that. Now Sunday, they like Sunday. I'm making 2 meats. I'm making mac and cheese. I'm making sides. So I left a good impression in AZ. But every month I would fly out there just to cook for them boys.
Wow, flying out. Wow. Man, and you never worried about like this could get expensive going back and forth. That never.
God always provide. I'm doing right by my kids, and that's always been you. You do right by your babies, He gonna do right by you, and that's what's been happening. So even just 2 weeks ago, my son is playing at ECU, and as a parent, you know your child, and you can tell when things are getting ready to get rough. So he kept saying, "Mom, I want you to stay till Friday." I'm like, "John, I gotta get back. Your game Tuesday." He's like, "Well, we got a game Friday too." So that game Tuesday didn't go the way that he wanted it to go. So I'm blessed that I am an entrepreneur, and like you said, that I have the finances and I save the way that I do. Because what I did was told my dad, "Look, you're going to have to drive back by yourself. I'm going to have to stay till Friday." So that way when he walk out of that tunnel, I'm there to be that voice of reason. And that's exactly what I did. So I stayed stayed Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and I flew back out Saturday, and I had an event. So I literally got off the plane, got in an Uber, and went straight to the event to sell my t-shirts and also talk about business credit and structuring your business the right way. So it's him. It's him. And he's fueling it, and I know it. And I know that I'm walking in my purpose, and I know that my calling is to educate and to speak, and to just speak from a place of I've been there. So
What has been the best part of your journey so far?
being able to have the freedom of my time to be there for my children when they need me. So I think that's been the best part. I've traveled, I've been out of the country, but it's nothing like being that mom that they know they can depend on. Some people don't have that. They know that if they call me, I'm coming. So that's been the best journey, being able to provide that for them from where I come from.
Did you grow up with this strong sense of family, or this is something that you just developed of just being a woman?
No, my mom has always been a part of my life. Always been instrumental. My father passed away when I was 15, but he was a hustler. He bred dogs. He worked at Midas. He had a car wash. So that's where I get it from. But the sense of being a good mom, I had a good mom, so I had a very good role model to teach me what a good mom is like and give me that example. So, we fall short at times, but now it's about recognizing it, talking to your children, explaining that. I communicate with my children all the time. Mom has to do this or I have to do that. So that's where it came from. I got a big family from the Reed side to the right side, and they always gave me that support. So it was already, that foundation was already laid as far as being a good mom.
So you get your entrepreneurship from your father, and then you get the strong sense of family and so forth from your mother.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. I get my entrepreneur spirit from my father. That's what the hustle come from, and like my brand, because he at the time he told me, it's like, man, son, and he grew up in like the Jim Crow era, so he was like, son, you always gotta have you a job, and he was like, you always gotta hustle. He ain't really defined going up details, but he, I can remember various times in my life where we would say stuff like sayings like that, and then as you get older, you have to figure out, what I'm saying, what that mean. And I understood what that mean as I got older, but it was like I had to cut out the job, and it's like, hey, I only want to be an entrepreneur because working a job, it just takes so. I appreciate, it takes so much of your time. Now I don't want to try to downplay jobs like that, like they're not important, because that's kind of like your introduction to being an entrepreneur, because you get to learn. If you're paying attention on the job, you can learn so much. I worked at a nonprofit, and I learned a lot about Excel sheets and how to manage and trucking and relationships and how to talk to people. I realized that you could say something to an individual with a bad attitude, or come in a bad attitude and say it to them, and get no result. Or you may get the result, but not in the quickest way that you would want that result. And then I would pay attention to how you would get a result if you came and you smiled and you said it a certain way, and how they would act immediately. So, you just learn a lot of different things from jobs if you pay attention. So I don't never want to downplay jobs.
I agree. Yeah. In the relationships that you build at those jobs. And like you said, it just teaches you how to be a worker and how to communicate, on different levels. But like you said, a smile can go so far. Because you never know what that other person has been through that day. So I definitely always try to, have good communication skills, and then always remember, and I tell my children this on a daily basis, everybody wasn't raised the same. So your values and morals might not be the same as theirs, and that's okay. But you remember what I instilled in you. As a man, you opening the car door. Always. I'm not touching no doors if I'm with my boys. I will stand there and wait. And they know, from the car door to when we go in the stores, even right now. And don't yeah me. It's yes. Yeah, who? Huh? So I demand that respect, but I also carry myself to a certain level too. So like I said before, kids want a parent that they can be proud of. When they walk in, when I walk in the gym, everybody know me. That's Jaquan mom, or, that's my Jovanna mom, or that's Lariah mom, And I always try to make sure that I'm presentable. 9 times out of 10, I got on something that say right way to go, but that's my brand, So that's my recognition. When you see me, you're going to see something that say right way to go. That way, that's that conversation. You do taxes? Yeah, you got any questions? Here's my business card. That's that open line of communication, Can I help you with anything? Just different things like that, so.
How did it feel when you made your first 6 figures in business?
I blew it. I took trips. I didn't reinvest it. I didn't know how to handle it. To see that, I probably was about maybe 27 at that point in time, giving everybody big bonuses. Because everybody around me was working. It was my crew or people that I had associated myself with. So it definitely was a good feeling. But in 2022, when I hit it, it's going to be different. It's going to be different, way different. So that's what I'm looking forward to, for sure.
So which brings me to my next question, like what would you do different now compared to when you made your first 6 figures?
Reinvested. I would have purchased the building that I was renting. I had the opportunity, I had the money, but just not being educated on home equity and commercial real estate, and that you spend this 50 now and this 50 can turn into 100K, So that's what I would do differently, and probably, like I said, just the networking. I would network with different people that I can grow with and I can learn from, people that will pour into me more so. So that's what I would definitely, do differently as far as with my career. The networking, getting in the right rooms, reinvesting my money into things that's going to bring me money. So now I try to work smarter, not harder.
Why is ownership so important, especially for us as Black people?
So we can pass it down to our children. That's what it's about. So that way they have their own.
So renting is like bad idea.
I wouldn't say that, because everybody at different levels, in life. So if that's what works for you, that's fine. What if you want to move to a different state and you don't necessarily want to have to deal with renting it out or deal with that? So it just depends on what works for you. So I'm not knocking, renting or anything like that. It's just what works for you at that time. So that comes with self-evaluating and knowing what works for you, So you have to be self-aware of that as well. So it's just what works for that person. And at that point in time is what I would say.
We talked a lot about education and investing in yourself. What's some of the books that you have read in like the last 60, 90 days?
Who Not How. The Black Wealth Choice by Dennis Kimbrough. Rick Ross' new book. I just finished that. Affirmations of a Black Woman. I've read, is it Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Yeah, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Napoleon Hill.
Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah. So those are the books that I read. And I like to reread them because you might have missed something that first time. So I don't want to add nothing new. I just reread those because every time you get a different concept, it might be a different point in your life where you get a different meaning or it means something different to you. So those are the books that I've read.
What's your daily routine? Like you wake up in the morning, then like do this, like do my affirmation.
Yep.
Like what that look like?
It used to be a 5, but it's when I wake up. So put that phone to the side, just a few minutes to myself, 5 to 10 minutes, just kind of meditating, thanking God for waking me up because some people, didn't wake up. From there is showering. Sometimes I might do a couple push-ups or sit-ups or something, but sometimes. So shower. By 7:50, I'm on the morning meetup. So I'm still moving around, but I got that earpiece in my ear. I go downstairs because I work from home. I make my tea every morning. I have my Herbalife tea. Boiled eggs, and I'm locked in until 9:15. 9:30, I'm rounding with my assistants. So whether it's one on the phone or I'm already texting one. So right now I have 3 employees under Right Way to Go. So I got a social media manager, I have a personal assistant, and then a business assistant. So usually from 9:30 till about 10:30, I'm rounding with them, making sure they on point, making sure they don't need anything from me. So normally around 11, I'm starting my Zooms. So in between that time, texting my children, even the ones that's at school, how's school going? I got a calendar, a timer that goes off at 8:18. 8:18 is my angel number. At that point in time, I'm texting my older boys, Grand Rising. When they respond, how's your day going? Do you need anything from me? So that's normally my daily routine. Every morning.
Every morning. That's your daily routine. And what are some of your affirmations? Like, what do you say?
So I have a lot of, what are they called? Sticky notes. So I am great. I am beautiful. I am a millionaire. I can do all things through him that strengthens me. Different ones. It just kind of, depends on how I'm feeling that day. I might read some quotes from Nipsey. But definitely every day, I'm a millionaire. I am a millionaire. Manifested my car. I wrote that down. I want a Mercedes. I want a Mercedes. I will write that down like 15 times a day. And from that point on, I started making sure that my credit was aligned. And by September, I was able to purchase it.
Wow, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
We need to clap that. This not the breakfast, not the breakfast club. This not champs, but we clapping it up.
Thank you.
We clapping it up. We clapping it up for manifestation and chasing after your dreams. That's what's up. Definitely proud of you.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. But like I said, everybody can do it. You just got to strengthen this muscle up here and cut out all the naysayers. What's for you is for you.
So, if you had to break down success, like get into the next level, and as simplest form that like a 4th or 6th grader could understand. Education. No, it's no other way. Like we can't bypass it. Like we gotta get education.
Not in my opinion. Because if you don't know, that's when somebody can get over on you.
So, what are some of the things that a person needs to be educated on, like in the beginning, like so that they won't get taken advantage of?
Finances. Like I said, knowing your bottom line number, what it is that you need to bring in, finances, budget, credit, like all of those things are important. They really are. And when we're young, we take that for granted sometimes. So definitely positioning yourself good with credit, making sure you're not abusing it, knowing money, just understanding the value of it, and knowing how to reinvest it. That's the key.
So I know you. I know we talked about, like, you say you like nice things, but you also invest. Like, how could an individual find balance who's not used to that, who basically doesn't have self-control or discipline?
Yeah, so that it definitely takes a lot of discipline. Some of the perks are not using debit cards and using my credit card, and make sure you get credit cards that have the rewards on them. So monthly, I use my credit card versus a debit card, and I gain reward points. So then I wait until those reward points add up or accumulate, and then that's when I can kind of go and splurge. Because just think, it's not my money. It's money that I've been rewarded for being disciplined and doing the right thing.
Wow. And how does one get to the point like that they can start using it like you, doing just like you? How do they do that?
So like you said, being disciplined for one.
Be disciplined.
And setting a budget.
Set a budget.
And work towards your credit score. And make sure that when you get these credit cards, they have reward points. And even like when you go purchase stuff, they always ask you, do you want to sign up? Yes, is this going to be money that I can get back from my purchases? They say yes. Yeah. So utilize those $25 off, and things like that. So I think that's kind of helped me get ahead with kind of being able to buy what I want to buy. But I also know what I have to do. So I stay within that rim. So like you said, just being disciplined.
Nah, you definitely right. Like using reward points and so forth, and leveraging your credit essentially to get what you want. Just by like watching you, I did the same thing. It's on a small level though. It ain't like big, but still in all though. I got what you call it, one of those oilless turkey fryers for like $5. And I told my wife, she was like, get out of there. I was like, no, I'm not playing. I got it for $5. She was like, how you do it? I was like, well, let me tell you. I got this business credit card with like Amazon. And then once you get it, then they give you like a $50 gift card. And then once you make your first purchase, then they give you another $50 or something. And so when it was all said and done, with all of the little extra perks and rewards, it was $5. So... now imagine, that's small, but that could have been used to get
gifts now. Christmas coming.
Exactly. All type of stuff, But this is things that, we don't know about, you know what I'm saying? And, and so we definitely appreciate you giving, those tips.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. So I tell people all the time, try to use your credit card. Don't use your debit card. Pay your credit card off. Make sure you pay it 10 days ahead of the date on that paper. Because you don't know when it's going to report to the credit bureaus. So you want to make sure that when it reports to the credit bureaus, you got a lower credit utilization. So people say 10, but I try to tell people to keep it under between 3 to 6.
Credit utilization?
Yes. Yep. So
percent?
3, yes. So basically, say for instance, you have a card that's $5,000. You want to make sure that if you use it, you pay it all the way down, even if you have to. So what I do is I got 3 cards and I stagger them. So every card has a different date. So if I got to pull the money off one to pay the other, I can, because then I'm hiding my utilization. Because then when they report, it's showing that I got a zero balance or, just a couple dollars that I'm using. So that's how you hide your utilization.
So you mean like you will pull like the cash value off or like
and pay some? Yep.
Wow.
And pay the other one off. So that way when they report, it's showing at a lower balance.
Is it like a certain amount of credit cards one should try to have, like, or stay under? Like you shouldn't have no more than 3 credit cards, or like how does that work?
So I don't have any department cards like Kohl's or anything like that. I just have 3 major credit cards and then a credit card for each business. So one is for emergency purposes. The other one, all of the kids have a card too, in case they get into an emergency and I'm not right there. They always have that card. And then the other one is that I use to pay my household things with. So I use the same card each month and then I just pay it off. So that way I'm getting those reward points and I'm spending so much money. So if I'm spending, $5,000 to $6,000 a month on this card, just imagine how many rewards they're going to give me.
Right.
And that add up. And then I go to Louis and Gucci and,
Ball out.
Yeah. But hey, it's leveraging other people's money.
Right. You got any other tips and tricks for leveraging other people's money? I know you can't get all the game away because y'all got about a course. Y'all got to go support. Or the ebook.
Yeah, I got 3 ebooks out right now. So definitely building your business credit. So if I could drop some tips, it would be making sure that your business is structured the right way. So when I say that, making sure that you already looked and made sure that you can get this business trademarked. I would hate for somebody to grow a brand and then somebody else already got it trademarked and then you can't do nothing with it. So you want to make sure that you search that first. Then after that, you want to make sure that you pick the business entity that works for you. I'm an LLC person. It works for me. Limited liability company. I never do sole proprietorship because I always want to keep myself separate from that. That way they don't have to, if I ever was to get sued, I'm not worried about my personal assets. Then you want to make sure that you have a brick and mortar, such as what you have, or a virtual address. Then you want to purchase your domain, and then you want to purchase your email address. You never want to use Gmail, Hotmail, Ymail. You don't want to use any of those. You want it to be a professional email because they're going to look that up. You want to make sure that you purchase that domain as well because they're going to look to see if it's a real business. So you want to make sure that you get these things structured. Then you're going to get your Dun & Bradstreet. Then you're going to open your business bank account. And from there, you're going to start off with your net 30s and your net 60s. And then there's other tiers as well. Gas cards, different things like that. But first thing is making sure that you got your business structured the right way. So, and if people need help, I'm available. And then I also have 2 ebooks on business credit as well. So with that, you can leverage other people's money. Once you get past tier 2, I've seen people get their paydex score up to a 80 and go get cars in their business names. So usually it takes between 3 to 9 months. It just depends on what system you use. But that's the right way to go.
No pun intended.
I mean, but yeah. So that would be the tip that I would definitely drop. So, and that was the whole play right there. So now I gave you the play. Now you got to run the play.
Now, if y'all don't take this information and boss up, that's y'all fault now. Because she done gave y'all the game and told you how to go from point A, B, C.
Yes.
Now it's on you.
Mm-hmm.
She can only give you the game. She can't do the leg work for you. So.
Gave you the play.
Right. Well, we thank you for giving us the play. We definitely appreciate your time. But before we get out of here, though.
Yes.
Please, we like to hold people accountable here
Okay.
on What's Your Hustle podcast.
Okay.
So then that way, in the next 5-10 years, we could come back. Remember when you said this?
Okay.
Bam. All right, so you got to let us know, where do you see your brand in the next 5 to 10 years?
All of them worldwide. Definitely the Tax University. I'm going to push this because I want other mompreneurs to understand that they can leave their 9 to 5 and build a legacy for their family. There's opportunities out there for generational wealth. Multiple streams of income is the right way to go. It just, and it's right there. You just got to educate and run the play. From the Turo to the Airbnbs, taxes. Anybody can do taxes. You just got to self-educate yourself on the laws and pick the right software and know how to market yourself. So definitely franchises for Right Way to Go Tax Service, Right Way to Go Financial Services, Girl Gang Apparel. I see that being huge within, you got to know your niche too. So I know exactly who we want to service. So I want to make sure that we pushing that brand onto teenagers and onto young entrepreneurs and people who hustle harder, you know. So definitely just see everything elevating, you know, for sure.
That's what's up. Well, we definitely appreciate you. And we know that your future is looking bright. And we will keep you accountable. And we definitely look forward to having you back again. Much love to you, to all the future.
Thank you for having me. Definitely appreciate you extending the welcome. Definitely for the Bel Air. I don't know if y'all saw that. He gifted me with some Bel Air. So, I don't know where the camera at, but thank you for that. And just all your hospitality, your communication, you know, so I'm going to give you your flowers too. And I definitely see you doing it big too. So anything that I can do to help you with your brand for 501c, you know, let me know, because Right Way to Go is here for you.